The search continues for a man police say could be dangerous and armed with a machete.
Day 2 of June and summer is still AWOL across central and eastern Kentucky. We'll see if we can find it in the 7-day forecast just ahead.
The head of FIFA is resigning. This comes after the International Soccer Organization was hit with a slew of scandals alleging widespread corruption. The details ahead.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News at 4.
Welcome to WKYT News at 4. Well, after a cool start to the week, I guess we could say it is a better day here in the Bluegrass, meaning it's not raining, but temperatures are still well below average. This is a live picture now of downtown Lexington, and we can tell you that a warm-up is coming by midweek. Let's check in now with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey. I think we're ready, Chris.
We think a warm-up is on the way. I'm going to, at this point, believe it when I see it. Temperatures again today. Struggling. You can't get rid of the clouds. You're going to keep those chilly temperatures. That's the moral of the story in this type of a pattern. We look outside in Lexington. Low clouds, ugly weather continues out there. But as Amber said, at least it's not raining. And it's 59 degrees right now in Lexington. By the way, this is 37 straight hours now in Lexington with temperatures below 60 degrees. We've been in the 50s, 37 straight hours. That's almost unheard of in the summertime. Northeasterly wind at around 12 miles per hour. 59 into Lexington, Mount Sterling, and Moorhead. I think in this next hour we're finally going to hit 60. Break out the party favors on that one. Southern Kentucky a little warmer right now, 60 to 65 degrees. Low clouds not producing precipitation. That's certainly some good news, though. Over the next 24 hours, going to keep an eye on what's going on into East Tennessee, into parts of southwestern Virginia. That's going to roll its way back to the northwest into central and eastern Kentucky for tomorrow. Short term, though, it's another crisp evening. Dress for fall out there this evening as thermometers stay into the 50s. Weather headlines as we roll forward. Another chilly evening. Storm chances on the increase as the muggy air fights its way back in. We will try to find summer, Amber, when I come back in just a few minutes.
All right, we will see you then, Chris. Thank you. The manhunt continues this afternoon for an escaped inmate who may be armed with a machete. Police say he took off near the Estill County Jail overnight while being transported from Laurel County. The suspect has just been identified as 37-year-old Jason Gay of Berea. WKYT's Phil Pendleton has more on the search efforts from Irvin. It's our top story at 4.
The man that police are looking for is to be considered dangerous, police say, because of the circumstances surrounding his escape, as well as the fact that he may be armed with a large knife or a machete that he's accused of stealing from a truck that he sold very late last night into early this morning. Now, police tell us that Jason Gay slipped out of handcuffs while he was in the custody of the Estill County Sheriff's Department on his way to the jail. Now, Gay was supposed to be in court for a hearing on various charges involving drugs and weapons this morning. Now, after he got away from police, he went to the water plant where we were told that he stole a truck. And employees saw that theft on surveillance video and managed to shoot out 3 of the tires, but Gay got away. Missing from the truck was that machete. Now, Gay is 37 years old. He is from Berea. Throughout the course of this day, we have been tracking down information on his past. We're going to have a lot more on that coming up at 5 and 6. But for now, in Estill County, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
Gay was last seen in an orange hoodie, jeans with holes in them. He's about 5'7" and weighs about 160 pounds. Fire crews are trying to figure out the cause of a fire that heavily damaged a central Kentucky home. The fire broke out on 16th Street in Paris around 8:30 this morning. The homeowner told WKYT he woke up to people dragging him out of his house. Firefighters said the man and his dogs are okay. He made it out just in the nick of time thanks to someone driving by.
Well, I wasn't thinking nothing, just trying to get him out. I was banging on the door. I thought I was going to have to kick it in, but I heard him coughing. He opened the door, so I grabbed him and pulled him on out.
Fire investigators are still trying to determine the cause of that fire. We'll have an update on their investigation on WKYT News at 5. We're also working on a number of other stories for you on WKYT starting at 4:30. Sam Dick joins us now from the newsroom with a look at some of the news in progress. Hello, Sam.
Good afternoon, Amber. Police in Mercer County are looking for a man on the run after a traffic stop turned into a high-speed chase. The Bergen police chief started the chase after he saw a man he knew had a suspended license. He says Trey Kokenauer is still on the run this afternoon, even after he crashed the truck he was driving. Chief Jim Caldwell says they knew who they were after, so they chose to let him run with the hopes of finding him later.
You know, all we really had on him was some traffic offenses, some felony traffic offenses, but traffic offenses at the end of the day. And we were able to identify him, so we weren't going to risk officers by going into the woods after him.
Police say they're hoping that Kokenauer turns himself in. We'll have an update on the investigation on WKYT News at 4:30. Crews are still working to clean up the damage caused last night when a car slammed into the back of the Panel Swim Shop off of Nicholasville Road. Owner Rick Panel says he was working at the store about 9 o'clock last night when he heard a loud boom. Panel says he expects the cleanup and repair process to take at least a couple of weeks. Firefighters said the person driving the car that crashed into the building was taken to the hospital with minor injuries. Coming up at 6, you'll hear more from the owner of the swim shop. That's a look at some of the news in progress. Amber, back to you.
Sam, thank you. Now to some stories making headlines for us across the nation at 4. In a stunning turn of events, FIFA President Sepp Blatter now says he will resign from soccer's governing body. His announcement comes just days after he was re-elected, and several of his top lieutenants were arrested in a sweeping corruption scandal. Trina Kraus reports from London.
Therefore, I have decided to lay down my mandate at an extraordinary elective Congress.
During a news conference Tuesday, FIFA President Sepp Blatter announced he is stepping down from soccer's most powerful organization. His decision comes just days after winning a 5th term in Switzerland.
That election is over, but FIFA's challenges are not. FIFA needs a profound overhaul.
Blatter will continue as president until FIFA holds its next election. The organization has been dogged by a corruption scandal since last week. U.S. prosecutors say 14 people, including senior FIFA figures, accepted millions of dollars in bribes in exchange for commercial rights to lucrative events. So far, Blatter has not been accused of any wrongdoing, but his critics applaud Tuesday's decision.
Football in many countries around the world is a perfectly well-run organised business and the rest of it. It's only FIFA.
Blatter blamed the U.S. criminal investigation on FIFA's decision to award the 2018 World Cup to Russia and the 2022 tournament to Qatar. Tina Kraus, CBS News, London.
The elections to replace Blatter are expected to take place sometime between December and March. The head of the Transportation Security Administration is now stepping down as a result of a stunning report that showed screeners failed just about every test they were given. Homeland Security Secretary Jay Johnson is now directing the TSA to retain officers and retest security equipment. Federal investigators disguised as passengers were able to sneak dangerous items aboard planes 95% of the time. Undercover agents smuggled mock explosives, weapons, and potential bomb components through TSA checkpoints.
Follow WKYT online at WKYT.com. Join the conversation on Twitter and become a part of the WKYT Facebook family.
Well, a down day on Wall Street with mild losses across the board. The Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P 500 all ended the day down a fraction of a point. Americans should prepare to pay a lot more for health insurance in 2016. Dozens of insurers say higher than expected costs caught them by surprise this year. Next year, they'll have to hike premiums well beyond 10%. Pandora and Spotify may be shaking in their boots today. Apple has announced it's creating its own music streaming service, but the big two may keep their free market share. Apple service will cost $10 a month. The New York Post says the app combines music, user-created video, and a new version of iTunes Radio. More details are expected as Apple's Worldwide Developer Conference next week. Married women, listen up. If you are the primary breadwinner in your home, one study says you are more likely to have a cheating husband. The American Sociological Review found that men who are completely economically dependent on their wives had about a 15% chance of cheating. So what's the main cause behind it? And the author of the study said he believes that for an economically dependent man, cheating could be an attempt to restore relationship equity. Well, here's a reason to have a smile on your face at work today. Today, June 2nd, is National Leave the Office Early Day. How about that, Chris Bailey? The idea is to get things done in less time and have the rest of the day to spend with family and friends. It's important to note that this is an unofficial national holiday. Check and see if your company is observing. You just don't want to leave, or you may not have a job to come back to if you take part. Well, how about a little swing dancing in the streets for some summer fun? That's what's happening this weekend on Short Street here in Lexington.
If I could dance, it would sound like a very fun time. Deanne Stevens out and about today, joining us from the streets of Arthur Murray Studios, where they are practicing up on their swing. Hey, Deanne.
Hey, good afternoon, guys. We are getting a little practice session in for Swinging on Short that's happening this weekend in downtown Lexington. Amber Pike is with us. Swing, the swing dance is a ton of fun.
Oh, it's amazing. And there's so many different styles of just one genre of dance. So you get to experience all of those. It's amazing.
Well, you said, all right, I can also spin you, Deanne, and I can flip you and turn you, and I'm like, let's keep it basic.
Yeah, it's probably wise to start that way.
Well, you said this is what this weekend is about. It's a basic step that folks can come out. Maybe folks have wanted to learn how to do a little ballroom dancing. Perfect opportunity for them?
Totally. Learning how to dance is totally stepping outside of your bubble, and this is going to be something that's a group project. So you get to do it with a bunch of people who are just starting just like you.
And it happens Saturday night there at Courthouse Plaza. What time do things take place?
It starts at 7 and it'll go till about 11 o'clock at night, and there's a free dance class for everybody who's showing up from 7 to 8.
All right, so you could be a part of it too. The good news for you, you don't have to be able to dance like these fine folks here. You could just show up, come in your tennis shoes, shorts, get active, and have some fun in downtown Lexington this weekend at Courthouse Plaza Saturday night. Swinging on Short. I'm Deanne Stevens, out and about. Back to you guys.
It is time now for better living, health, education, and consumer news that impacts your life. Office workers in Britain are being told to get up and stand up for at least 2 hours during the workday. Research shows long periods of sitting are linked to serious illness and premature death. The new recommendation suggests eventually spending 4 hours a day standing or walking at work. New data on expensive trips to the hospital emergency room. Researchers in San Francisco found 1 in 5 patients returned to the ER within a month of their first visit. That's twice as often as previously reported. And doctors in Israel say their research suggests babies who are breastfed for 6 months or longer have a 19% lower risk of developing childhood leukemia. It's June, temperatures are rising, and Americans are spending time at the pool. It's a good time for some reminders about keeping everyone safe in the water. Karen Kaifa has the details.
Splashing around in the pool is part of the seasonal fun for children and parents. But as the summer approaches, it's worth reviewing some key points about water safety, especially if it's a homeowner's first summer with a pool. The Consumer Product Safety Commission has some reminders for parents about pool dangers.
And it's not like the movies. It's not where you see somebody splashing and screaming for help to get your attention. Drowning is a silent killer. They go under and it's over.
In case of emergency, a quick response is crucial. That's why the Red Cross says pool owners should have the right equipment on hand before it's needed. That includes reaching or throwing equipment like a lifesaver, life jackets, and a first aid kit. And pool safety doesn't end when everyone is out of the water. In fact, that time when the pool is unsupervised can be the most dangerous for children. The CPSC urges pool owners to have a fence at least 4 feet in height around the perimeter of a pool. Use gates that self-latch and self-close, and install an alarm between the house and pool area to alert everyone that someone may be approaching the water. For Consumer Watch, I'm Karen Kaifa.
Nestle says it will remove artificial flavors in more than 200 of its products. Those include frozen pizza and snack brands, including DiGiorno, Tombstone, and Hot Pockets. Nestle will also reduce sodium in its pizzas and snacks by 10%. The company says it won't impact the taste. Netflix is testing advertisements in its online streaming service. The company hasn't confirmed whether it will roll out ads on a wider scale, but it's experimenting with showing ads for its own programs for people watching on Xbox 360. The strategy is similar to HBO, which also shows ads for its original content.